In this lesson on logs, we're going to talk about finding the inverse of a logarithm. In some cases, we're going to take an equation that's in log form and convert it to exponential form. And in other cases, we'll have an equation in exponential form, and then we're going to convert it into log form to solve the inverse. So the first two problems will be taking the log form and converting it to exponential form. So remember, when you find the inverse, you want to exchange the x and the y values first. So let's rewrite this equation, exchanging the x and y values. So now we have x is equal to log base 2 of 2 to the y plus 5. Now the trick here is that we want to rewrite the equation in terms of y. So we have to get y all on its own on one side of the equation. Our first step is to take this equation, which is the inverse of the original equation, and we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. So now we're left with x minus 5 is equal to log base 2 of 2 to the y. Now at this point we can exponentiate the log equation and then solve for y. Because we have y that still is an exponent, we have to use the other form, the exponential form, in order to solve. So if I were to write this in exponential form, it is now 2 to the x minus 5 is equal to 2 to the y. Now if 2 to the x minus 5 is equal to 2 to the y, then I know that y is going to be equal to x minus 5. And that is your answer for this problem. In the second problem, we're again going to take a log form and we're going to convert it to exponential form in order to find the inverse in terms of y. So we write this equation by switching the x's and the y's, and x is equal to 5 log base 3 of negative 4y plus 2. Now these parentheses are very important, and the reason why they're important is because the negative 4y is attached to the log. If it's not in the parentheses, then the value of plus 2 is added external or after the log function is handled. So just make sure that you're careful about where you put the parentheses, and note that the parentheses are important in terms of solving the equation. So again, in this case, as in the other, we're going to subtract the value of plus 2. In the other case, it was plus 5. From both sides, and we're left with x minus 2 is equal to 5 log base 3 of negative 4y. Next step is to divide both sides by 5. So we're left with x minus 2 over 5 is equal to log base 3 of negative 4y. At this point, there's nothing left to do but to exponentiate the equation. And so we rewrite it in exponential form, which means that 3 to the x minus 2 over 5 is equal to negative 4y. And now I can solve for y by dividing by negative 4. And I'm left with 3 to the x minus 2 over 5 divided by negative 4 is equal to y. All right, now we're going to take two problems, and these two problems start in exponential form, and we're going to need to use the log form in order to solve for y after we start with exchanging the x's and the y's to find the inverse. So again, rewriting this by exchanging the x's and the y's, I have x is equal to 2 to the y plus 8 over 4. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, and I have 4x is equal to 2 to the y plus 8. Now I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. I have 4x minus 8 is equal to 2 to the y. At this point, the only thing I can do now to simplify or to solve for y is to take the log of the equation. And so I rewrite this in log form, and I get log with a base of 2 4x minus 8. And remember the parentheses is equal to y. And that is your answer. In the last equation, again, we're going to take the inverse in exponential form and convert it to log form in order to solve for y after we take the inverse. So let's rewrite this by exchanging the x and y's values again. I have x is equal to 3 to the y plus 2 over negative 4 to the 1/3. Now I need to get at the values inside the parentheses. In order to do that, I need to cube both sides of the equation. So I will rewrite this as x to the 3rd, so I'm cubing the left and the right hand side, is equal to 3 to the y plus 2 over negative 4 to the 1/3 cubed, which means it's just to the 1. So I'm left with this equation. Now I can multiply both sides by negative 4. I have negative 4x to the 3rd is equal to 3 to the y plus 2. Now I can subtract both sides before I convert to x or to log form. So I subtract 2 from both sides, and I have negative 4x to the 3rd minus 2 is equal to 3 to the y. Now it's time, now that I have the single value taken to the variable exponent y, now I can take the log of both sides. It'll take the log of the equation. And I write it in log form. So I have log with the base of 3, and again the parentheses here, negative 4x to the 3rd minus 2 is equal to y. And that is your answer.